Hello, welcome channel. Today dives into a pivotal Tuesday where ties are tested, secrets strain already fragile truces, and one ruthless business play sends shockwaves from the DiMera boardroom to the Kiriakis corridors. Belle's rising alarm. Belle senses a subtle but escalating shift in Marlena's demeanor, a quiet fracturing beneath the polished calm that suggests unprocessed grief and mounting stressors are pressing in at once. With John's death still reshaping every corner of their lives and Rachel's spiraling behavior creating fresh crises. Belle's legal mind reads the tells. Hesitations, evasions, and a determination to soldier on that looks more like emotional triage. On Tuesday, the concern turns active, with Belle probing for clarity and preparedness rather than platitudes. A daughter leveraging empathy and structure to keep Marlena from slipping into silent suffering. EJ's patience test. EJ's instinct is to move, command, and consolidate. So Susan's counsel to pause and trust the timing of what the universe intends lands as both balm and provocation. Patience isn't passivity. In Salem, it's strategy, waiting for an opponent to overreach, for an ally to reveal true loyalties, for evidence to cross the desk at precisely the right hour. Susan's influence here is formidable because it reframes EJ's advantage. Restraint as leverage, composure as currency, and a cooling period that could save him from a costly mistake made in the heat of personal grievance. Xander's apology, what it really means. Apologies from Xander are rare and therefore loud. When he offers one to Sarah, it signals more than contrition. It's a recalibration of their rules of engagement. The pair remain in sync about co-parenting Victoria and their physical chemistry, but honesty has lagged. Xander's ongoing lie about Philip's beating is the crack in the foundation that could split the room if daylight fully hits it. The risk is stark. Confess now and face Sarah's hurt with a chance at rebuilding, or double down, win the moment, and lose the long game when the next reveal blindsides them both. Sarah's decision point. Sarah's response is less about the incident and more about the pattern. She has survived half-truths, omissions, and necessary evils disguised as noble aims. Forgiveness is possible, but only if the apology isn't a tactical ceasefire. She needs proof of alignment. No more back-channel deals. No more protecting her with lies that corner her into complicity. If Xander admits the full story on his own terms, she can set terms for redemption. If she learns it from someone else first, the apology morphs into evidence and the romance into a case file. Tony's double-cross lands. Tony's power play slices clean. He reaps DiMera, freezes Gabby out, and lets the Kiriakis side keep tighten, detonating the promise he used to recruit her as a covert asset. It's a masterclass in DiMera realpolitik. Leverage the ambitious, extract their intel, then reorganize the chessboard so their square disappears while appearing to maintain no hard feelings. For Gabby, it's enraging but clarifying. She now knows who writes the rules at DiMera and how quickly they'll rewrite them if her ambition grows inconvenient. Gabby's next strike. There are two paths for Gabby: retaliation by exposure or negotiation by threat, and both carry risk if she lacks a second lever to pull. The cunning move is to make herself essential to someone Tony needs. Philip, Xander, Wei-Shin, or even Theo, then turn that alliance into a wedge under Tony's chair. If whispers that Tony is acting un-Tony-like gather mass, Gabby can amplify the uncertainty, because in a boardroom, doubt about identity or intent is often more destabilizing than any single document. Theo's choice, Abe's shock. Theo leaning toward DiMera is more than a career pivot. It challenges Abe's vision of legacy and ethical continuity in a town where power is often a synonym for compromise. Abe's shock doesn't come from disbelief in Theo's capability, but from dread that DiMera's center of gravity warps good intentions into gray realities. One decision at a time. Yet the modern DiMera machine is data-driven as much as it is devious. Theo's analytical calm could be the first truly stabilizing variable the company has seen in years, if he avoids becoming its next instrument. EJ, Belle, and mom issues. Belle and EJ mirror each other in disquieting ways this week. Both negotiating maternal gravity, Marlena's guarded vulnerability, Susan's mystical certainty, that reorients their choices. For Belle, the priority is triage and truth, structuring the chaos into manageable pieces before it metastasizes. For EJ, It's surrendering the illusion that speed guarantees control. Each will be measured not by what they can force but by what they can prevent. A descent for Marlena, a misstep for EJ that gives Tony uncontested altitude. The Titan DiMera frontier. By letting Titan remain with the Kiriakis clan, Tony trades a trophy for a perimeter. He narrows the battlefield, concentrates his resources, and sidelines Gabby without provoking a prolonged corporate war. Philip and Xander benefit in the short term, but the détente masks a live wire. So long as Xander's past violence against Philip and their mutual cover stories exist, either man can implode the other with a single ill-timed confession. That makes them both vulnerable to outside exploitation. Expect someone to test the seam between them before the week is out. Marlena and the Rachel variable. Rachel's volatility is a force multiplier for Marlena's stress profile. The more Rachel destabilizes, the tighter Marlena coils, and the more Belle fears her mother is absorbing instead of offloading. If Marlena breaks form and confides in Kayla or a colleague, it could mark the turning point that Belle is angling toward. If not, expect Belle to initiate safeguards under the guise of support. Either outcome keeps Marlena central to the power map. Her steadiness or stumble will ripple through EJ, Belle, and even Rachel's trajectories this month. Susan's quiet checkmate. Susan's nudge toward patience is not folksy filler. It's a preemptive check on EJ's worst habit, counterpunching before he confirms motive, method, and margin. The DiMera scuffle has already proven slippery, and Tony's bait and switch on Gabby shows how fast alliances liquefy when signature ink dries. A hasty EJ move would cost leverage he can't afford to lose. If EJ plays long, he can harvest discontent from Gabby, caution from Belle, and optics from Abe's concern over Theo, building a coalition that corner-cuts Tony without a headline-grabbing blitz. Xander's crossroads. To salvage his future with Sarah, Xander must choose confession over containment, and accept that contrition without correction is theatrics, not change. The binding constraint is Philip. Their interlaced lies force mutual silence, but silence is exactly what corrodes trust in Xander's most important relationship. Should Sarah detect even a wobble in his story, the apology becomes a red flag, and the path back narrows to a razor's edge requiring verifiable transparency, not a passionate promise. Tony's endgame. Tony's move suggests an objective beyond a single quarter's control. Consolidate DiMera, neutralize Gabby's rise, and absorb a stabilizing heir apparent in Theo to placate the board. If whispers persist that he's behaving closer to Andre's silhouette, the play becomes even sharper. Consolidate now, fend off identity suspicion by delivering results, and let confusion disorient rivals. In either reading, he's building a fortress with one missing buttress, public trust. And that is the very column Gabby or EJ can strike if they coordinate timing. Abe's legacy question. Abe's alarm isn't gatekeeping. It's stewardship. He has spent a lifetime insulating family and city from the corrosive allure of expedient power. Theo's announcement forces Abe to confront whether legacy is taught or tested, whether the next Carver generation can carry integrity into the heart of DiMera and not emerge compromised. Expect Abe to oppose the decision in principle while quietly preparing guardrails in practice, rallying allies who can signal if Theo's compass starts to drift. What Tuesday sets in motion. Belle moves from worry to watchdog, turning concern into a plan that calls Marlena back toward support structures. EJ banks calm as capital, taking Susan's advice to turn velocity into vantage. Xander risks candor. Whether he uses it determines if the apology opens a door or slams it shut. Gabby pivots from pawn to saboteur in waiting, scouting leverage to make Tony pay for breaking the deal. Theo steps toward DiMera. Abe prepares for the hardest job a father has, standing firm without standing in the way. Tuesday's episode redraws the map without a single explosion, favoring surgical betrayals and measured confrontations that will matter more in a week than they do in an hour. In Salem, the most dangerous players are the ones who smile while they wait, and after today, more than one of them is learning to sit very, very still. Part 2. Days of Our Lives spoilers for Wednesday, October 15th, 2025. Hearts reconnect, secrets unravel, and tensions rise in Salem. As the leaves turn and the air cools in Salem, emotions are running high. Wednesday's episode of Days of Our Lives promises to be an unforgettable one, filled with heartwarming reunions, painful confessions, and a few emotional standoffs that will leave viewers on the edge of their seats. For longtime fans who have watched these characters grow, stumble, and rise again, this is the kind of storytelling that makes Days such a treasured part of daytime television. Let's dive deeper into what's unfolding this Wednesday, October 15th. Holly and Ari's heartfelt reunion, two young women reconnect after turbulent times. After weeks of silence and emotional distance, Holly Jonas and Ariana Horton finally reunite. Their friendship, once as strong as family, has been strained by secrets, misunderstandings, and Holly's recent decision to drop out of Salem University. Viewers will recall that Holly, still reeling from heartbreak and the chaos of her love life, chose to walk away from everything familiar, including her closest friends. But on Wednesday, we'll see a softer, more reflective Holly. She's ready to face the people she left behind, and Ari is first on that list. Their meeting doesn't start smoothly. Ari's hurt is still fresh, and she doesn't hide her disappointment that Holly disappeared without a word. Yet, when tears flow and apologies follow, their bond begins to mend. As they sit together in the Horton Town Square, memories of their carefree days return. Laughter over coffee, late-night talks about love and dreams, and the sisterly bond that neither time nor distance could erase. Holly admits she's been lost, searching for direction and struggling to understand what love truly means. Ari listens, patient and wise beyond her years, and assures her friend that no mistake is too great to make right. For longtime fans who have followed these two since their teenage years, this moment feels deeply earned. A gentle reminder that forgiveness and friendship still matter in a town that often forgets how to heal. Tate worries Aaron, trouble between friends. Over at the Salem Inn, tension brews between Tate Black and his roommate Aaron. What begins as an innocent conversation quickly turns uncomfortable when Aaron notices Tate's distant mood and restless energy. Aaron, ever the optimist, has been trying to lift Tate's spirits, offering distractions, new plans, even a job lead at the Salem Historical Society's ghost tour. But Tate, still struggling with his breakup with Holly and the guilt that followed, seems more irritable than ever. He's not sleeping, not eating well, and his temper flares at the slightest thing. Aaron's concern grows, and for good reason. Salem has seen what can happen when pain turns inward, and he fears his friend might be slipping down that path. Tate insists he's fine, but his eyes tell another story. His heart is heavy, and the worry lines on his young face betray more than he's willing to admit. When Aaron gently brings up Holly's name, Tate's composure cracks. The frustration, the heartbreak, the lingering guilt, it all comes spilling out. He regrets not being the man she needed him to be and feels haunted by the idea that she's moved on without him. This emotional confrontation might just be the start of Tate's journey back to himself, but it could also drive a wedge between two friends who once felt unbreakable. Sophia's stunning confession to Melinda, the truth finally comes out. Meanwhile, in a quiet corner of the Salem courthouse, Sophia Choi faces Melinda Trask, and what unfolds next could send shockwaves through the town. Sophia has been carrying a heavy secret, one that has been eating away at her conscience. On Wednesday, she finally breaks down and tells Melinda the truth. Exactly what Sophia confesses remains under wraps, but those close to the situation say it's explosive, something that could change the way people see her forever. Whether it's connected to the ongoing mystery surrounding the baby switch, or something more personal involving Johnny or Tate, one thing is clear. Sophia's guilt is reaching its breaking point. Melinda, known for her no-nonsense attitude and razor-sharp instincts, listens carefully but offers little sympathy at first. Yet even she can't ignore the sincerity in Sophia's trembling voice. It's a rare moment where Melinda's icy courtroom demeanor gives way to something softer, perhaps even understanding. The confession could either destroy Sophia's fragile new start in Salem, or finally set her free from the lies she's been tangled in for months. Johnny and Chanel's growing worries, the calm before another storm. Elsewhere, Johnny DiMera and Chanel Dupree find themselves once again facing uncertainty. After weeks of dealing with external chaos, family drama, professional stress, and the aftershocks of past relationships. The couple's once bright optimism begins to dim. Johnny can't shake the feeling that something is off. Whether it's the tension in the DiMera household, rumors swirling around the square, or the emotional distance creeping between him and Chanel, he's anxious. Chanel, meanwhile, has been preoccupied with work at Sweet Bits and with helping friends like Holly and Sophia navigate their own crises. The two share a quiet dinner at the pub, but the atmosphere is heavy. Chanel's eyes keep drifting to her phone, and Johnny's attempts at small talk only make the silence worse. Eventually, they admit what's really bothering them. They're scared of losing each other again. It's a deeply human moment. Two people who've already survived heartbreak once, now facing the reality that love takes more than chemistry. Takes patience, trust, and the courage to face the unknown together. Theo's battle for support. Paulina lifts him up. Abe lets him down. Finally, over at the Carver household, Theo Carver faces a struggle that hits close to home. After recent events left him questioning his next steps, both personally and professionally, he turns to his family for support. Paulina Price, always the nurturing presence, is there with open arms. She reminds Theo of his strength, his compassion, and the difference he's made in people's lives. Her warmth and motherly reassurance give him hope when he needs it most. But Abe Carver, usually the steady moral compass of the family, isn't as encouraging this time. Whether it's disappointment, worry, or lingering disapproval, Abe's words cut deep. He warns Theo to think carefully before making another mistake, and his tone carries a weight that feels more like judgment than guidance. The rift between father and son leaves Theo visibly shaken. For viewers who remember Abe's proud moments with Theo as a child, this emotional distance feels painful, almost tragic. Still, there's a quiet strength in Theo's response. Rather than lash out, he takes Paulina's advice to heart and vows to move forward with integrity, no matter who believes in him. A day of emotional reckonings. Wednesday's episode is not about explosions or shocking twists. It's about the emotional battles that shape who these characters are. From Holly's redemption to Tate's quiet suffering, Sophia's confession, and Theo's need for understanding, Days of Our Lives continues to deliver the kind of heartfelt storytelling that has kept it alive for generations. These are not just soap opera moments. They are slices of human experience. Forgiveness, fear, love, and the timeless hope that, no matter how broken things become, it's never too late to find your way back.